Hey guys, how's it going? This is Hocus with another episode in the Minecraft LP series. I'm currently swimming the oceans in the search for squid. I need ink, but I don't know where they went. They seem to have left and just, I don't know, gone to a new world, made their own world, found a different ocean to live in, who knows. Anyway, in the background there you can see, oh wow, this is interesting. Hello. Oh boy. There are some strange mechanics in this game, especially when you fly underwater. So if I was to switch to a rocket right now, I can just hit right click and we'll come out, go back down, and then if I hold the down key, I kind of do like a backstroke, which is very, very strange. That is besides the point though, guys. Welcome, as I say, to another episode. We are on the hunt for some of those inky dudes because there's something going on over here in the mob farm that I'm going to show you in just a moment. Don't worry. So the reason why we need ink sacks, before I do explain that, let me just take out our 8-legged friend there. The reason why we need them is because we are in the hunt for some, or on the hunt, I should say, on the hunt for some light gray dye. So let's go ahead and just see how much we can get out of this. Let's first of all craft the white dye, combine these, combine those, and then we just want to dye up a bunch of this wool and make some carpeting. Something like that. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. What I've been working on since the last episode, off camera, that is, no recording of this at all, but I will show you the final product in just a second, is tying up the towers here at the mob farm. So you can now see we've got 5 mechanisms up here, and that, guys, can only mean one thing. Did you guess it? Do you know what it is? I'm sure you know what it is. It's very, very obvious. Let's do a 180, and there it is, a thing of beauty, right? So I finished up the 5th tower. 5th tower? Did I say that weird then? I don't know. 5th tower. All right, stop saying those words because they're really not sounding like words to me anymore. Okay, so I finished all of these big, tall structures. There you go. That's another way to describe it. And that means that there is more, you know, more potential for mobs to fall and more potential for us to gain drops. I also have been working on sand, dropping sand. Like I say, though, this is just one of those tasks that I just find it extremely tough to motivate myself to do. It's pretty boring, if I'm honest, but I have been working here and there to get it done. There's still a lot to do, though, and that just pains me, guys. It pains me. I want this to be done because I've got huge plans for this area now, and I feel like once we've got the sand in, it's going to be a lot of fun to do what I want to do. But I guess until I get my butt into gear and get that done, we're just going to have to wait, right? But let's switch this thing on. Oh, hello, spider. You're hanging off the edge there, buddy. You're going to come down here in just a moment anyway. But like I say, let's switch this thing on and see it in action real quick. Then we can move on because I've got a nice plan for today, I feel. So here it is, our monolithic mob farm in action. And this is definitely the biggest mob farm I've ever built in a Minecraft world. I think this is probably overkill, really, but we're never, ever going to run out of drops. The only thing that we're not going to get out of this, obviously, well, there are a couple things. Ender pearls we won't get because Endermen are too tall to spawn up there. Plus, the water interacting with the Enderman just would never work anyway, so that's fine. And obviously, witches don't really spawn at a hefty enough rate to produce their drops. So eventually, we'll build 2 separate farms for those mobs, but everything else is pretty much just confirmed to drop. So that's going to mean gunpowder unlimited, bones unlimited, arrows unlimited. Not that I care really much about them, but that's okay. We'll also get a bunch of string. And at the moment, this is kind of being disappointing. But the reason why the rates are a little bit slow down here is because we aren't at our AFK zone. So once you're down here, obviously mobs can spawn elsewhere in the world. They're taking up the cap, and that means fewer mobs can spawn in our farm here. So if I went up to the AFK area, I'm telling you guys, it would be raining mobs. A little bit like that, but just a continuous stream and many, many more at a time. Anyhow, though, this is still pretty cool. It still works quick enough down here. And yeah, this is just awesome. I mean, look at this thing. We've got total control over these guys. They have nowhere to go. Look at it. All right then, guys. The topic of today's episode are these guys right here. These guys, Firework Rockets. They're a pretty integral part of our game now with the Elytra, you know. Since that was added, movement has become a lot easier, and that means that rockets are in high demand because obviously you need them to fly, and without them, things do get a little bit tough. So what I want to do today is I want to have more access to rockets because right now our only stock of them is in this chest here. So every time I need to restock, I have to come back to the base. I have to come to this chest specifically, open it, and obviously drag them into my inventory like so. And I don't want to keep doing that because that is kind of tedious, and a stack of rockets, you know, sometimes it can go a long way, sometimes it doesn't last long at all, and I just don't want to make continuous trips down to the base all the time. So what I want to come up with is a prototype Yes, that's right. I'm using fancy words. I want to come up with a prototype for a small contraption that we can place around the world. You know, we can have more than one of these in multiple locations where you can hit a button and be given a stack or so of rockets. I think that would be a good idea, right? Or maybe half a stack, because a lot of the time, you know, I'll have less than 64, or I'll still have some in my inventory. So if I get another stack, it means I have to waste another slot on rockets. So I think maybe if we can get 32 at a time, that would be preferable. But however this ends up working out, I just want to have a way to dispense rockets that means we don't have to continually come back here. So I'm going to gather up some resources, some redstone equipment, and we are going to start putting together one of these little contraptions. Hopefully I can make it work. It could be difficult, but I'll have a little browse around the internet for some help, and we'll get it done. We will, guys. We will get it done, because wow, okay, there we go. Because we're redstone masters, right? We're redstone masters. We are. It's true. We have to believe in ourselves. This location, I think, is going to be perfect to test out the prototype for this device. So we're over at the tree farm, and this is a place where, you know, I've already been discussing that we're going to kind of have a few micro farms in the area. So I do still have plans to build a couple more of these. Not that we really need them, but if you remember back to last episode, the feathers did come in a little bit handy for us. So, you know, there is always requirements and needs for these items. So I may get a couple more of a couple more of these in, if I don't trip over my words again. A couple more of these in either side, so one there, we'll have a total of 3. And then we will develop this area further as well, have pathways and such. But, you know, these kind of things are very, very long term. A world like this, it should last a long time. And I'm figuring that this is the world we stick with now for good, unless something serious happens, like we lose it to corruption again. I don't know if any of you guys were actually here for my very first LP world, but I did lose that to corruption. That sucked a lot, so I hope we don't have to go through that again. But I've got a lot of the components here that we might require. I really don't know the best way to do this, but I'm figuring we put it over here somewhere. And we will have ourselves a dropper. So what space did we give ourselves over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's give ourselves a 7 wide gap on this side as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plonk that in, get rid of this. So this is ultimately going to be where the rockets fire out of. So we'll have a dropper to get rid of them. And I'm thinking of going with an etho hopper clock setup again. But I'm going to do some research, because like I said, I don't know if that's the most efficient method to do this. Oh, now this is very, very interesting. I don't think I'll end up going with this design. Who knows? I might do, but I doubt I will. Just because, I don't know, I feel like this would be hard to create some sort of vending machine design out of. And realistically, I want this to be centered more than anything. So, like I say, probably not going to use this one, but this is really, really interesting. So if I put some items in and right-click the redstone, this circuit will actually always give you 16 items between the two droppers, so I can go again. Very interesting, right? Now, again, I'm not really versed in why or how this works, but pretty simple. I like it, but like I say, hard to design and hard to really do anything interesting with, in my opinion. But, you know, I've been trying out a few different things here. Not nailed down anything just yet, but once I have, I will come back on camera, we'll build it together, and we'll think about putting some sort of design work around it, because I do want these things to look cool. I'm going to scatter them over the world eventually, so we've got to make something of it at least. Okay guys, I think I've got the design that I'm going to go with. Again, it might limit us slightly just because of the placement of some of the redstone, but we'll have to figure it out. So we might need to also move the block back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll take it back 1 block. Just because of the way this is going to work out in the end. So we will begin here with 2 droppers. We'll place the dirt. And then from this point, we will grab ourselves a redstone torch. And it's going to operate on the same principle, just so you know. It's going to be something very similar to what I just showcased. Place a piece of redstone on top of the top dropper, like so. And then we'll have a block above the redstone torch to conduct the signal. All right, and that will burn the torch out real quick. And then we just need 1 more torch in here, like so. And then our button to dispense the items will be right here. And we can break this for now. But of course, like I say, there will be design around this. Eventually, we'll figure something out at least. And if I get a few items in there, hit the button, we are given 16 items. So this will be the way it will work. This is probably about as simple as it can get, aside from that last design. But like I say, I want to keep this centered. So to have the droppers on top of each other, I think is a lot more preferable. But now we need to start thinking about how we're going to go about making this look good, because in this state, it doesn't look great, does it? I think something else we should probably consider is to think about how we're going to stock items into the system here. So I was thinking that possibly we'll go with a hopper here and maybe a hopper. See, this is where it gets tough. Maybe one right there. And then we'll need to grab ourselves a couple chests. And those chests can go right here, I would say, and then also right here. And that's probably about as compact as it can be. So we'll have rockets in both of these chests that can just dispense into the system. And then when we hit the button, we will obviously be given the rockets. And that's the way it'll be. So now I'm going to take a little bit of time, try and figure out a design for this. And then I'm hoping to actually go around the world and maybe build a couple more of these. So we'll see what we can do. I hope it's not too difficult. That was a nervous laugh there because, like I say, a lot of this redstone is in positions that isn't going to allow us to do too much without making this thing bulky. So maybe we will have to make it bulky. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Whew. You guys, when I tell you that I've probably wasted about the past 2 hours and a half dilly-dallying, trying to come up with new designs, trying to recreate designs I've done in the past, etc., for this, just to go back to the original design and build something very, very simple. You may not believe me, but that is the absolute truth behind this. What is it? It's a 3x3 by 3.5, right? Or a 3x3 by 4, we'll say, because it does go 4 high in certain positions. I've spent 2.5 hours building this. Hocus, this is the reason why you only release 2 videos a week, because you spend too much time dilly-dallying. Like I've already said, oh god, I can't believe I spent the past 2 hours doing this, to be honest. I mean, it's totally worth it, because these things are going to be very useful. But really? 2.5 hours just to come to this? I mean, you know, I've got a pet bearded dragon. He could probably build this in about 5 minutes if he wanted to. Yeah, so that's that. But let me show you how it works. So you guys already know the mechanism. Hit the button, you get 16 of whatever item you put in there. We're going to be putting rockets in because rockets are probably the most useful thing to put in something like this. And then round the back, we've got this little feature. So I actually wanted to create a way to have some sort of storage filter in automatically. But the problem with that is if you connect a hopper to the back of this dropper, the redstone signal from this wire here actually prevents the hopper from being able to be used. So that's a shame. But instead, I'm just going to have a barrel full of rockets right here, and we can manually store them across. I mean, we're not going to be having... I can't talk. We're not going to have to replace these all that often, so I think doing it manually won't do us any harm. And then I also just stuck a lamp in here as well, because there needs to be a block above this torch to transfer the signal. So I thought a lamp would be nice so that at night these are lit up, and there is a little bit of safety, I guess, in having a lamp there too. So, yep, like I say, 2.5 hours for this. Great use of time, Hocus. You're such a legend. Let's head over to the sugarcane farm so we can put some rockets together to go inside this thing. Well, it's been a while since we gave this thing a blast on camera, hasn't it? And you know what? I've always loved this build. I think we did a great job, and I can't wait to actually tie it into everything else. It kind of sits on its own at the moment in a weird sort of way, but that's okay. We don't need to concern ourselves with that today. I just need to figure out what side the blade is on. It's not always easy to do. I was actually planning to build an indicator for that, but oh, there it is. Found it. I was planning to build an indicator for that, but I really couldn't think of a way to do it compactly. Compactly, is that a word? Compactly? Yep, I think it's a word. Anyway, we're gonna roll with it. You guys probably get what I mean. It can be tough sometimes with redstone because of the way it functions to actually fit it into small spaces. But looks like we've completed our slide across, so let's send out the carts to gather everything up. But like I was saying, yeah, it can be difficult with redstone to fit it into small spaces just because of the way redstone functions in the game. Things like the target block, the repeater do make it a little bit easier, but again, it's not always ideal because you need blocks for those to sit on, etc., etc. You guys probably know the struggles. All right, here comes the clicking. And this might be annoying, so maybe we'll cut this out in just a moment, but let's see what's coming through down here. Oh yeah, look at that, boys. Look at it. And girls. Boys and girls. Don't ever forget to include everyone. Look at that, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen. And the crafting of rockets always confuses me. Did I get this right? I think I've got the ratio right. Yes, I did. I don't know why it confuses me, but the fact that 3 stacks of sugarcane convert to 3 stacks of paper must just short wire, short fuse, whatever the word is, my brain must just cause it to have issues. I don't know. Anyway, let's head back over to the tree farm where we've got our newly built 2.5 hour project. I mean, you know, look at all the detail. No wonder it took 2.5 hours, right? We are just going to slam in as much as we can. So I think we'll be able to fill both of them, right? Oh, no. Yep. I'm incredibly wrong. We can fill both with absolutely nothing left over, but that's okay because, like I say, let's hit the button. We'll take 16, and that barely made a dent. I mean, look, they're all up in the 60s still on both ends, which is awesome indeed. And you know what? I think this will work out. Ideally, we probably wanted something that's a little bit more intricate, but I fooled around with this for 2.5 hours. I'm not spending any more time on it today. Not today, maybe in the future, but for now, this will do. All right then, guys. So with the prototype build out of the way, complete, finished, I'm happy with it. Now we just need to figure out whereabouts in the world we're going to put more of these things. And I'm thinking, first of all, we'll get one over here at the sugarcane farm. And I know this is very close to the tree farm, but I feel as though these things are just worth dotting everywhere. They're pretty cheap to build. You know, rockets are easy to come by now with all the farms we've got built. So what I'm thinking is we'll probably have like a 5-wide gap between the button here and the dispenser itself, because there'll probably be some sort of path that runs through this location. So maybe if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's just mark, no, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's mark that spot right there so we know where it's going to go. And then unfortunately, seems as though the temporary vine farm has come to an end already because it's in the way of what we want to build today. So we'll do one final harvest of the vines here, just so we've got a back stock of them. And I actually figured as well we would move this back a couple blocks. I think 7-wide gap is probably a little bit more preferable. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I think the paths are going to be about 5 wide once I get around to building them. And that gives us just a 1-block space either side, which I think always is a nice thing to do, so you can add a bit of grass in and etc. But like I say, I'm going to harvest up the vines, give it one more shot for old time's sake, and then we'll tear this thing down and get ourselves another rocket dispensary built. And in 3, 2, 1... ta-da! And it appears right before your eyes. Our second rocket dispensary. Now this one hasn't been filled at all, but it does work in exactly the same way. And I've also, again, implemented a little barrel at the back to store a few extra rockets in. And there it is. So that's, you know what, guys? Just pretend you didn't see that, okay? There it is. Now it's finished. But there you go, number 2. And I am now, again, on the prowl for another location. So I'm thinking that we probably want one over here somewhere next to the iron farm. But exactly where, I don't know, because I've essentially made preliminary plans for this place, guys. We're going to tear this down eventually. Even the chute, everything's going to go. Our iron farm, I think I'm going to move it underground somewhere. I just think this looks so ugly, but I'll let it be for now because it is producing a ton of iron for us and it's doing the job it should do, but just super ugly. Such a clunky build, and it has to be hidden somewhere, unfortunately. So we will get one down around here, but like I say, I'm just not entirely sure where. Maybe we can we sneak one in? I'm thinking we just sneak one in between the trees somewhere. Let's see. Where do we put it, though? That's the big question, because I still am unsure about how far this tree farm is going to go. So it might be tough to decide exactly where. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 gaps. 1, 2, 3. Let's put it in the middle here. I'm going to clear a bit of space, and we'll get another one in place. Oh, yeah, rhymes. I'm good at those, right? That'll certainly do the trick. That will do the trick. So now over at the... well, this isn't the tree farm, is it? I refer to it as a tree farm. This is actually the Arboretum of Gratitude. And whilst we're here, let's take a quick look over the names, because I fail to shout you guys out all that often, but we've got Amadorn in here. We've got Special. We've got Killaton. We have got Jake. We've got Uli. We've got Christian. And finally, we've got Jazz. So there's another quick shout out for you guys. You are awesome. You've contributed to the channel. Oh, that actually reminds me, we've got another, I think, name or two maybe to put over here. So let's actually take a little bit of time to do that. Then I'm going to build one more of these things, I think, and we will call it an episode. So here we go then, guys. We've got 2 new trees for 2 new donators. So Fuse Alex, first of all, he came in with 3 donations in the last stream. So I've got 3 gold blocks in there for him. And then we've also got Minecraft Modder. I've had to shorten his name on the book just because it wouldn't fit when I signed it, but that's okay. He had 2 donations with messages. Hi, I don't know what to say, but here I have money to burn. And also, can we VC in Discord, which we did in the end. And that was pretty awesome to speak to you guys, you know, away from the game. So Yeah, thank you to Fuse Alex and to Minecraft Modder. Now, I mentioned we've got one more of these things to build. Remember this place, guys? I would forgive you if you have. This is the hive. Remember, we were building an automated honeycomb and honey farm. So again, I'm always thinking about this world. It's always on my mind. At work, when I'm not playing, every single day, I've got thoughts about this world. I'm making plans in my head. So another plan I've made for this place is that we are not going to take it to the extremes that I originally was. So originally, I was going to have these sprawl for a long, long distance and cover up a lot of area. But I think now, just because of how long it took me to build this one, and again, this is one of those projects I'm just lacking a lot of motivation with, I think we're going to narrow it down and just keep it at the 4 we've got here. So we'll have 2 that produce honeycomb. You can see we've got honeycomb in here already. And then we will have another 2 that just produce honey. So a little side note, but other than that, I was figuring that we would use some of this space here to build another dispensary. So we will begin this one right here, I think, and then we'll grab some of our oak. So we'll have the pillars in place like so. And then we'll actually need to bring this pillar up. And you know what? This might actually not be enough oak. That's okay, though. I can grab a little bit more. We'll have our button in here. We will also bring this one up, because this one right here needs to have the item frame. This shows us what the dispensary dispenses. And that's another thing to keep in mind, guys. We can actually build these for any item in the game, which is really cool. So if there's anything else we figure might be useful to have a dispensary for, we'll go ahead and put those together at some point. And let me just think about this for a second. What have we got here? Okay, so we'll have a piece of redstone atop the dispenser, or the dropper, I should say. We'll have one of these guys right there. We'll have another one right here, and then we want one of these dudes, redstone lamp, to go at the top, and that should just about do it. All right, let me finish this up off camera. I'll be right back. All right then, guys, welcome back to this episode of the Minecraft LP series for the last time for today. You know what, although this is such a small little build, I'm so pleased that we got it done, because this is something I've wanted to do for a while, but I just, I never really took the time to learn how to build one of these things. And I also was kind of stuck for ideas when it came to designing or actually making it look good. I think we've done a good job with that. And the beauty of this is, if I do want to change the block palette, I easily can just switch out the oak for something else and just switch it up a little bit to make it match the area that it's in. But I think for now, the way we built them will definitely fit in. And they function perfectly, so very, very good indeed. And we can just continue putting these all over the world when we expand, etc, etc. I probably should have put one over at the village, actually, but we'll do that another day. That is a-okay. But if you guys did enjoy this one, please be sure to drop a like down below. That would be much appreciated. Any questions, suggestions, comments, or feedback, put those down below in the comment section. I pretty much respond to all my comments, or at least like and heart them if there's nothing really to say back. So put them down there, I'll read them, and I'll get back to you if I feel the need to. Buzzy Bee, did he just, oh darn it, I think he just escaped out of this hole. That's super frustrating. I don't know, man, the hive has been a pain in the butt. It really has. We'll do something about that eventually, though, so don't worry. He can have his freedom for now, but he will eventually be right back where he belongs. Anyway, guys, if you are new to the channel, like I was about to say, please, well, first of all, my name is Hocus. Welcome. I forgot to say that. Please consider subscribing to stay tuned to this series. I also have a Ramblecraft series, which is an SMP. It's pretty awesome. You guys seem to like it, so make sure to check that out as well. You might enjoy that, and then that might also convince you to stick around. So yep, make sure you do that. Okay, all right. And that is gonna be all from me for today, guys. So take care, have a great week. Hopefully I'll get some Ramblecrafts out later in this week as well for you guys, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.